Saber Line is formed by the Seminole Ridge High School JROTC. We have taps played by Roberto Morgan and Armando Sedono. They're with the First Panamanian Drum and Bugle Corps of Miami. We can dismiss the colors. At the beginning of the Vietnam War 50 years ago, we're into the 50th anniversary of the war. The United States government, I think, between 2015 and 2017 is actually having a national recognition for Vietnam veterans. But 50 years ago, the U.S. military began spraying Agent Orange on the battlefields of Southeast Asia. The defoliant was used contained the toxic chemical dioxin. Approximately 21 million gallons of Agent Orange, a herbicide defoliant, were sprayed over Vietnam and Southeast Asia during the Vietnam War. The name Agent Orange was derived from the orange stripe on the 55-gallon drums in which the herbicide was stored. At the time, it was never thought that performing this simple act to destroy vegetation hiding the enemy would have long-term effects for service members. Diseases linked to Agent Orange are deemed long and terminal for many people. Now, 50 years later, struggles with Agent Orange exposure is still not over. In an ongoing campaign to raise awareness of the lingering effects of this poison's legacy, we gathered together today to honor and remember our brave patriots affected by their exposure. I am proud, honored, and humbled to recognize, remember, and honor all veterans and families who have lost their lives from or are affected by Agent Orange. Let us stand and pay respects and never forget their sacrifices to the United States of America. Release balloons. I will have a musical selection from the Wellington. I'm going to jump out of order here for a second and go to recognition of honored guests. Number one, all the veterans that are present here today are my honored guests. But also we have State Representative Bobby Powell, State Representative Lori Berman, and Supervisor Elections Susan Busher. All right, welcoming remarks, I'd like to present to you the Director of the South Florida National Cemetery, Kurt Leopard.
On behalf of Secretary Shinseki, greetings. I'm honored to be here today, and thank you all for your presence. On this day of reflection, in this sacred place, we honor great deeds, great achievement, and great personal fortitude. We pay tribute to constancy and commitment, to faith and fidelity. And in our gratitude and respect, we say, rest well, brave souls, for yours is a sleep of heroes. God bless those we honor today, all of those serving America in uniform, and all of our nation's veterans. Thank you.
West Palm Beach, Charlene Zabo.
Thank you, and good morning. On behalf of the 2,500 VA employees that serve our veterans at the West Palm Beach, including the 700 who have served for all of our veterans, I'd like to share with you the quote that is on our national headquarters. Our mission, to uphold Abraham Lincoln's charge, to strive on to finish the work we are in, to bind up the nation's wounds, to care for him who has borne the battle, and for his widow and his orphan, to do all which we may achieve and share us to just and lasting peace among ourselves and with all our nations. For the veterans that we serve, I have so many that I could say thank you to. On our celebration today, to honor those that are no longer with us, I'd like to share with you a few stories for those that have served, returned to their community, and have also given back to our West Palm Beach Medical Center veterans. Jonas Jacobson. He died this July at the age of 82. He was drafted into the military in 1951. He received the Purple Heart, the Bronze Star, and the Combat Medic Badge. He returned to New York and had an advertising agency. But one of his dreams was to become a member of the Military Order of the Purple Heart, Chapter 717, here in Palm Beach. I could see Jonas probably every day of the week helping our veterans. Some of you have met Jonas for the work that he helps you to work on your benefits. When Jonas left us, he took care of his last wish, and that was that he gave everything that he owned back to the veterans in the chapter that he was a member of. That's quite a tribute. He gave his in Korea, and then he came when he returned. Another Korean War veteran. We know him as Pat Primoreno. Pat, a Korean War veteran, was a very private person, but he came every day upon his retirement to serve with Chaplain Beasley with me today for many of our Catholic veterans that were in the hospital. He saw at least 30 to more veterans every single day. If his work wasn't needed there, he then went to social work. He was honored for his 15,000 hours of volunteer service and also received the Extraordinary Volunteer Award that was given to him, the Calidus Management RSV Volunteer Award. Recently, some of you have read about a veteran that was a health tech at the VA who died in 2010. He was recognized in the Palm Beach Post on May 10th. Ray Thompson, a Vietnam veteran who we just honored, who was gravely wounded in 1969, where he was an Army radio operator. He was 21 years old at the time. He came back and he gave back to his Vietnam veterans as the local chapter secretary. And lastly, I'd like to honor Mr. Stephen Brown.